Hello, Chaotic fans. Q-Rex here. I'm back with another Chaotic video profile. This time we're going over my final Overworld deck. If you looked on my channel, you'll notice I already posted my final Underworld deck and my final Mapedian deck. So now it's time to show you my final Overworld deck. And by final, I mean every card that was released up until now. I'm not counting Fire and Stone yet, since that hasn't been released. I'm going to make new Chaotic decks whenever that comes out. And I say when, not if, because I believe it'll come out someday. Fire and Stone with new creatures, battle gear, music, locations, and attacks. And we already saw a glimpse of a few of those awesome cards. So stay tuned, and let's go over my final Overworld deck. We'll start with my side deck as usual, and then we'll go to my main deck. 10 extra creatures, battle gear, and music, and locations. And this is like my other decks, a 15 creature, battle gear, music, 10 locations, and 20 attack cards. 10 creatures, battle gear, music, and locations. And like my Underworld deck, all my creatures are max energy. My Mapedians are all max energy except for the two princes, unfortunately. They're mid energy. At least they're not minimum, but still. I've tried getting max energy Mapedian princes, but they're so expensive. Yeesh. I was able to get max energy for all my Overworlders and Underworlders. Cut me a break. Let's get started. So, locations of my side deck first. And if you hear huffing and puffing, I have allergies. I'm sorry. I can't control that. Got this for each of my decks. Since I'm a type of player who likes to use single tribe, I've tried going mixed tribe, but that only works when you have a general and the two lieutenants, Avena and Novena, but just didn't work out for me. And you'll notice my deck, if you see my other videos, you know I like to use multiple elements for my Overworlders. Mainly water, but they also can do fire and earth. Underworlder, it's fire with a little earth. And Mapedians is wind and earth. I like elemental attacks. Decided to take Castle Bodrin out. It's a great location, but I don't want my opponent getting a music back. That's why I hesitate to put it in my main deck. Now for the music. You'll know why I have other tribes' music in here. Because of a certain creature. But he's in a peculiar place. Learn that these only last one turn. Kind of wish this was a single music instead of two. When I looked at this, I thought I could look at their whole hand, but if they show musicians up to they show their music cards up to the number of musicians you have. So they get to decide which one is destroyed. If you use one Magician, they'll only discard one Music. Unless you use two, they'll show two and you can choose. The best way to use this is just to have two of these and then they discard two Music. Don't waste Magicians on this. But it's great in a Danian deck, as I explained in other videos. Now for the battle gear, and like I said in other videos, anyone can have any kind of battle gear. I don't keep them together like other chaotic players have shown. I prefer to keep my options open. Extra Citadel. This can work on equipped to any creature and give them water. It just gives a Carl creature, Marillion, an extra ability, but hey, at least it's a water gaining battle gear and it's permanent. Oop. And this is permanent for fire types. Rare Stone Mail. Second Obliterators. Now for my side creatures. Frafto, he's pretty awesome, but he has no elements. So that's why I have him in my side deck, because this is an element deck. But he's still pretty awesome, so I keep him around. He should have had air and water. If I was creating Frafto the hero, I would have given him air and water. Since he's an overworlder. Took most of my elementalists out. And he's in the side because most of my locations don't have element as the initiative. Got this guy recently, Zerv. Fire and air, that's pretty good. So he just needs one water or earth. He works good in a mixed deck, but I'd rather just use his Magicians to play Music instead, rather than giving another creature to play a Magician. Yep, I decided to take Heptad out. He's awesome, not going to deny, but one Magician average stats. And the Citadel fragments would increase it, but still risky. So I decided to put him off to the side for now. But I'm keeping him at least, so that's something. His ability is so confusing for me. I don't know how to use his ability. I just use him for his good energy, 2 Magicians, and at least he has earth. I can give him fire or water, battle gear, and use Music. He's a warrior with 2 Magicians, that's pretty good. Took the elemental servants out in all my decks. Low energy, mid-core ability, but 2 Magicians. That's why I took them out. But they're still awesome to have, so I keep them. This is same reason for Orth, is why I took Silchaw out. He's pretty good. But I'll keep him on my side. And last but not least, great combo with Dawnmore. Expand water, heal energy, and then she has water. I took Arctis out of my deck completely. He just wasn't working for me. Let's go on to attack cards. Took some cards out and you might see some familiar ones. Overworlders have good wisdom. The squeaking you hear is from my chair. Sorry about that. No 4 counter attack cards. Too high. 3 is the max. Took out Sunderground. Because I don't want to lose any of my elements. Overworlders have good wisdom. That's my attack cards. Let's go to locations. I kind of like this one more. The one that shows Maxor overlooking Cure City is pretty cool, but I kind of just like this one more. I guess it's meant to rival Kaor overlooking Underworld City. Oops. Gigantum Topless and Castle Pillar. Great way to get magicians, because Overworlders have high wisdom. like I said in my Underworld video, this location is meant to bring back my ace for this deck, Maxor, for my Underworlder deck, Kaor. Bring back my strongest creature. And if my opponent brings back a creature, fine. The only thing Max or Kaor have to fear are War Beasts, Ani, or each other. Now for music. Good, another version of Refrain of Denial. Same with this one. Interlude. This and Canon of Casualty were always my favorite songs. Sorry. Love gaining elements in this deck. There are anti-element decks out there, but I have ways to protect myself. This combo is great with Nadrin. High Muge of the Lake. Basically, Nadrin doesn't lose any Mugicians when he plays this. His ability, he only has to use one. Heals a creature, and since Nadrin has water, he gains a Mugician, so he'll have 2 again. Nadrin's got Maxor's back with this. For battle gear. Minion. These are obviously my minions. Like I did in my previous video, I added 3 minions instead of 2 because I just wanted to add one more. There were certain creatures I liked. And these element gaining battle gear are permanent, so they're just like the Alliance's Unraveled element gaining battle gear, but they only work on minions. This works on any creature, which is cool. Doesn't work on just minions. Notice the difference? Equipped creature has water. Equipped Marillion or minion gains element type water. And this stays. I've done research. When this is revealed, the creature has water forever until it's destroyed or fire. Sun Chariots, so they have fire attacks. Water. If push comes to shove, I'll give my creatures these 3 elemental battle gear instead of these, just in case. They'd be better off having these, is what some people said, and I agree. This is for if I was doing a 15-on-15 battle, but most of the time I'd probably do 6 on this 6. So I'd mainly give them these 3. And just the creature under them is who I'd usually give the battle gear to, but I could also switch it around, as you'll see. And then there's this. And I might give them these battle gear instead of this. It gives them just 5 energy and 15 power, but you never know what could happen. Citadel fragments. Swapped out a signature battle gear. Now for creatures, the best part. Yep, took me a while, but I managed to get it top. Sorry. He has Earth 5. He has really poor wisdom and courage, but I have a way to counter that. His Earth attacks will do 5 extra damage. I just wanted him. He was cool. Wish I got him instead of Eerie Song, the Underworlder, when I bought Chaotic Shadow Warriors back then. Fire 5, Earth 5. Drill Dozer, so he can do some extra damage instead of... So he has higher energy instead of Torn Prince, Larkshar, or Vile Driver. Decide to give him extra energy with the Drill Dozer. The strongest of the Overworld minions, Tartarek, like Von Bloot was the strongest Underworld minion I could think of. Tartarek's the strongest Overworld minion. Yep, I swapped Heptad out for Porthin. By sacrificing a Magician, he can take non-attack damage. So I'd use him to protect Maxor. Some people are saying give him a Mepedian's Battle Flute. And yeah, that's true, but then he has nothing left to protect himself. This is an elemental deck, so I kind of want him to have at least one element so he can fight back. And if he needs to, I might use him for my Castle Momar combo. He would protect his allies and then sacrifice himself to bring another back, like Nadrin or Maxor. And I think you all just noticed this, but in my videos, I have every creature that Peyton and Counterfighter used in the episode of Peytonic Adventure. Although some are different versions of the ones they used, but still, they used some pretty good creatures. Arthoa. He would actually be, if I use him, I'd also use Atala because creatures with water succeed on all discipline checks they place, so if my Atala used Rain Spear, he would do the extra 10 damage even though he doesn't have enough wisdom, thanks to Arthoa. Loma. Good Magicians. This guy's as rare as... what was his? Zamul. Yeah. It's pretty awesome. I like him more than the other version of Aparu, because I could turn him into a War Beast or Kaor or even Ani like they did in the show. Or Zamul himself. Some people say Loma is better than Somnort. Yeah, I agree, but still, he's still pretty good. He has 2 elements. So I'm keeping him in my deck. See? 1, 2, 3, 4. And as you notice, I have 4 of Peyton's Underworlders in my Underworld deck, while the remaining 2 are on the side, just like these. Ikatosh. People keep saying the other Ikatosh is better, but I think this one's pretty good. And even if Nadrin or Interest win combat, they'll gain a Magician. So that's why I'm keeping him. And you might not believe this, but he's the first max energy creature I ever got when I opened a booster box. Or I got a Marillion starter deck for Overworlders, and I pulled him from the special cards. So I'm keeping him. He's good. I think I've won a few practice matches with him. Been dying to look. His max courage is what I've been looking for, but couldn't find it. He's still pretty tough. Even though she has no elements, she's still pretty useful, because a lot of my challenge and state checks would get stronger with her. She has no elements like Frafto, but her ability is a lot more useful. And I've got plenty of element battle gear and music, so that can change. I got rid of the Sword of Kayat for Citadel fragments for Tangoth Toborn, because Sword of Kayat gives them 5 energy and 15 speed. Well, with the Citadel fragments, he gains 15 energy and 15 to all his stats, because he has 3 elements. So he'd have, instead of 75 energy, he'd have 85. It was tough, and just 5 extra damage doesn't really matter. Overworlders are meant to tank their opponents, in my opinion, with all their high energy. I swallowed my pride and gave up the Sword of Kayad I keep in my binder on standby. High Muges are awesome. This is my favorite version of Nadrin, like I keep saying. Fluid Morpher's Foe would be second place, but I keep hearing it gets banned. So I actually like Nadrin High Muge of the Lake. He has water, and his ability is perfect. A go-to girl of the Overworlders interests. Some people are saying they kind of wish she got armor like Takinam, and yeah, I kind of thought that'd be cool too. She would look cool in armor. And finally, the ace of my deck, Maxor. Maxor Elemental Champion is pretty good. I would give him a Evergreen Tunic as well instead of a Drill Dozer, because I mentioned this in my previous videos. If you give Maxor Elemental Champion a Drill Dozer and uses Expand Earth, you'll lose. Or someone did lose that way, which was stupid. And there you have it. Well, I hope you all enjoyed my final Overworld deck. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. I won't be posting videos of Chaotic for a while until I can start building up my decks from Fire and Stone when they come out. Can't wait for this October. So to all your fans, keep showing the love and support, and let's go get chaotic.